Okay, David. So we are in extra. And so I'm really excited. We're talking about the 9 key skills that business owners need to have to double their revenue, right? So I'm just going to turn that over to you so you can get us through those.
Thank you. So most business owners who come to me want, even if it's not their primary goal, more money is better than less money. So we want to double revenue, but that's not a lot of use to you if you're working 70-hour, 80-hour weeks, or even if you're working a 40-hour week and you'd really like 20 more hours to yourself to spend time with your kids, to write a book, to swim with dolphins, to go paragliding, to meditate, or whatever it is or volunteering.
Mhm.
So I created a program designed to double revenue and your time off. And while we're at it, let's be a more extraordinary entrepreneur and human. And I found 9 key areas. If I'd had 50 key areas, it'd be too complex and too overwhelming. So I boiled it down to the 9 most essentials. And even that, I've boiled down to 3 big buckets.
Mhm.
So the first bucket is productivity. I want you to achieve twice as much of what matters in half the time.
Mhm.
And the second bucket, I'll mention the 3 buckets and then we'll go back through each of them. The second bucket is your money. We want to really double that revenue. And the third bucket is your leverage.
Mm.
Do you have a team making this happen for you? Because usually you are the bottleneck in your own business. So
Yes.
if we go back through each of these buckets, there are 3 areas in each of them. And what I want you to do, listeners, is to assess yourself in each of these areas. Now, we can do a very broad brush approach here on Extra. And I'm going to give you a link at the end of this to a training which will do a thorough version for you, take you by the hand and have you color code yourself. So red is terrible. I'm lousy at this. Orange is I'm okay, but it needs work. And green is I'm rocking. I do not need work on this. And the reason I want you to color code yourself here is so that at the end of this, you will know which 3 are your projects for the next 3 months. You will know
Ooh.
what to work on. That'll be your plan to double revenue. Okay, so number 1 is plotting your course. You're a green in this if you are crystal clear on your goals at 12 months, 3 months, 7 days, and then daily. That's a green. If you don't have that, you might be a red or an orange. The next step is usually in week 2, we look at how is your productivity? When you sit down to do something, can you crank it out? How efficient? Most people are really lousy at this. They feel busy, which is different to being productive. Now, if you're a machine, you know exactly what to do. You sit down 4 hours, 6 hours, crank it out, can't get distracted. That's a green. Anything short could be an orange or a red. The third one in productivity is your mindset. When you, like yesterday, I heard about a shooting at my local supermarket here in Boulder, Colorado. Do you get thrown when there are problems or challenges? Do you go into fear? There's a pandemic recently. Do you get thrown and do you live in fear and have trouble sleeping? Or do you welcome problems? Right? I've got one client sent me an image that said, I eat problems for breakfast. We want to cultivate that mindset so that you're coming from an open heart and an open mind when things, challenges throw you. You'll make more money. I
Mhm.
promise. All right. So that's the first bucket, which is productivity. The second bucket, we want you to make more money. So in week 4, we look at your leads. Do you have a flood of leads? If you have more leads that you can handle, that's a green. If you got a trickle of leads, that's a red. Then in week 5, how's your conversion? Do you have a high conversion rate when people come to your website, they go into your email sequence, and then they eventually buy from you? If your conversion rate is high, then you're a green. If it's really low, then that's a red. And then the third piece in making more money is loving your existing customers, loving them up. It's so easy to keep chasing for a new customer, a new client. But how are your upsells? If you've got a wonderful upsell sequence and customers repeat buying from you and buying higher ticket items, if you're getting a constant stream of referrals, a constant stream of testimonials to put on your site, you're a green in this area. Anything short, then you're an orange or a red. All right. So I want to pause for breath. Those are the first two buckets. Anything you want to say about those, Monica, before we do the last bucket, which is about leverage?
No, I love those. That was great. Thank you. I could just totally muck it up, but let's not do that.
All right. Right. All right. So the third bucket, we want to remove you as a bottleneck in your business. So in week 7, we clarify your genius. What is unique to you that you are great at and that you love to do? And then everything else, we want to get that off your plate. If you already know exactly what your genius is and the stuff that is not your genius, then score yourself a green on this one. If not, be red or orange. In week 8, we look at hiring talent, harnessing talent. I often think this is my true job, not coaching or speaking, because it's so important, finding the right people in the business. And there are ways to do it. There are long, hard ways to do it, and you can get the wrong people, which is tremendously expensive. So if you're amazing at getting the right talent at a great price, then give yourself a green. If you've got more to learn, you're an orange or a red. And then the last piece, we need to motivate that talent, have them be lit up, motivated, and accountable. So if you already got systems in place, so your team knows exactly what to do every week, they've got quarterly goals, they've got their weekly goals, they're totally accountable, they get in touch with you if a deadline's going to be missed and renegotiate it, give yourself a green. Anything short of that, you'd be a red or an orange. So that's the laser version of the 9 skills that I've identified are most important if you're going to double revenue over the next 12 months and your time off and be more extraordinary. Circle 3 of these. Hopefully you've been writing these down. And if you didn't, don't worry. I've got a more in-depth training we'll give you. But circle 3 of these. You work out, all right, this is what I'm going to work on over the next 3 months. That's your plan. That's your focused plan. Sure, there are 100 things you could do. Work on these 3 things, get them to green, and the chances of you increasing your revenue and your time off go up by a large.
Wow, I just love that. So talk to us a little bit more about the in-depth training. You did say it in the first part of the show too, but go ahead and just remind us real quick.
Yeah, sure. It's a 35-minute video where it's got graphs and I take you through it and I give you more detail about what you need to know to double revenue. So it's a really great training. If at the end of that training, you feel like this is exactly what I need, all right, I know the plan, I'd like help implementing it, then you may be a fit for the Samurai program. I can't take everybody. If I did, it wouldn't be a very good program. I take the people I know I can generate results for, but you'll know at the end of the training if you're a fit for it, or at least you'll have a good sense of it. And then there'll be a mechanism where you can reach out to me. We'll get on the phone, do a 15-minute call and make sure that you're a fit. And if you're not, I'll tell you super politely, and I'll likely point you in the right direction. There might even be another coach I can recommend for you. If you are a fit, well, buckle your seatbelt, get ready for a good time.
I love that. And the website for that is myfocusgift.com.
That's right.
So,
It's a shortcut to take you to my website, which is focus.ceo. But if you go to focus.ceo, you can't get the gifts because they're not public. So my focus gift takes you to a hidden page on that site where you get the checklist to double productivity and this video training, which I'm very proud of. I hope you really enjoy it. And if you think we might really do some good work together, I'd love to hear from you. This
perfect.
is how I find the right people to work with.